Hey everybody, this is your girl Essie and welcome to my channel. Let's get started talking about the visa process, preparing for that before you get married. Remember to like, subscribe, follow, and share. So y'all know we've been talking about this whole series about long distance relationships, and many of you know who know me that I'm married to the love of my life, but he is in Nigeria. So let's get started talking about some of the things you're going to have to do after you get married. Some of the things that we've done, right? This is your girl Essie. Remember to like, follow, subscribe, and share. Repost a lot more information I'm going to be putting on my YouTube channel about different things that you can do, some of the things that we work through in a little bit more detail as far as the visa process. So let's get started. My husband and I got married. We made a decision to get married in Nigeria. And then hopefully when he finally gets here, we will be able to have some kind of ceremony here as far as a reception here or a party in order to welcome my hubby here to the U.S. I'm so excited when that happens. I'm just going to be on a whole nother level. Okay. Now, I will tell you that the moment we got back, there are certain forms that we actually filled out, but I want to back up before the wedding, some of the things that we discussed in order to prepare for the visa process. So because we decided to get married in Nigeria, we already knew that we were going to have to do the spousal visa. And I can only speak to the spousal visa because that's what we are going through. I can't do the fiance visa. So if anybody has recommendations for that, feel free to drop them in the chat. And then hopefully other people will find that helpful. So when we were planning our wedding, because I think it's so important to actually show that you have a relationship with this person and that this is truly a marriage, because this is part of the problem. You got people who want to immigrate to the States, and then I understand that, guys will meet a U.S. woman as an example. They will scam them, pretend to love them. The relationship will move really, really fast. The woman will ignore red flags. Next thing you know, she's married to this guy, and, he gets here to the States, and then within 2 years, they're divorced, and she still is financially responsible for him. So we'll talk about that later. But, there are some really true, solid relationships and marriages that are being formed with people who are overseas. And people like me and my husband shouldn't be, we're penalized, I should say, because I just happened to fall in love with somebody who was overseas, somebody who I developed a friendship with, right? So it's not like I just met him and rushed into marriage. There was no pressure on my end, or I didn't feel any pressure. And I really feel like this is somebody that I'm deeply in love with, and he feels the same way. So because of other scammers and other activities that have happened by people, we have to be penalized, and we're going through the immigration process as we speak, which is difficult enough to be separated from somebody that you actually love. So before the wedding, that's what this segment's going to be about. Before the wedding, you already know you're going to do the spousal visa if you're going to get married, for instance, in another country. Prepare in advance, because when you submit your documents, you are able to submit unsolicited, or I want to say they call it evidence that's unsolicited evidence. And what they mean by that is anything to support the fact that you actually have what is considered a valid relationship and a valid marriage. So you're going to, need things like your marriage certificate and other forms to submit with your application, your visa application. But you should also have unsolicited evidence, because that's what I think they call it. So you want to have stuff like we prepared for. We had our wedding guest list, right? So these are people who could actually say that they either physically attended our wedding, and we also had a Zoom portion for our wedding for people who were overseas or who weren't able to make it. And so there's a wedding guest list, right? There was also, we kept receipts for everything. So the reception hall, the caterer, the cake person, right? Anything that has to do with the actual planning of our wedding, we actually kept receipts for. And that's the stuff that you upload as unsolicited evidence. And so when you are planning your wedding overseas, make sure that you and your partner hold on to copies of those receipts. Ask for them if, the places that you're dealing with don't
remember to give them to you. The photographer, if you're using a limo service or comparable to a limo service, make sure you get all of your evidence, because that goes to prove that you actually had a real legitimate wedding, right? And that you actually were married overseas. Now, if you opt just to go to what would be our, equivalent of going to City Hall, whatever receipts, your flights, your receipts for your wedding dress or your tribal dress, depending on how you attend, keep those receipts, right? So that your hotel receipts, anything, if you're eating at the hotel, you're eating out, keep all of those receipts, keep them safe, because when you go file for your visa application, that can eventually be uploaded as unsolicited documents or evidence to prove that you actually know this person, you guys spent time together, and that you all have a relationship and this is a legitimate marriage. You don't want to get into a situation where you can't prove that you really know this person, right? And the visa application process is hard enough. It's hard enough to have people question your marriage or your relationship. And, so it makes it easier if you are collecting this supporting evidence all along. It's to prove your case and prove that you actually love this person. Hopefully it's somebody, if you've watched my previous videos, is open and has been honest. You've met their family. You've, gone past all of the red flags. This person is in it 100% committed, just like you are. And you're able to talk about how you're going to prove that this is a legitimate marriage, that this is not going to be something where they get over here and in 2 years you're divorced and, he's with somebody else or she's with somebody else and you're heartbroken because you let yourself be scammed. So that's just where we're going to stop right here. I am going to upload another video later to talk about going through the actual visa process and, letting people know some of the things they have to look forward to. All right, this is your girl, Essie. Remember to like, follow, subscribe, and share. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Stay safe and stay warm wherever you are. I'm out.